In the previous video we learned that a force is a push or a pull, and sometimes we can also say or a twist, and we looked at some simple forces acting on a car and a person. The next question is, what can forces do to objects? Let us start with an object in outer space. In fact, a place in outer space that is so far away from anything else that there are absolutely no forces acting on it. So here's our object. There are no forces acting on it, and this object is not moving, it is stationary. And then somehow a force is applied to the object in that particular direction. What will happen to that object that was stationary is that because it is experiencing a force, it will actually now start to move in that direction. In fact, it will speed up in that direction, and we call this acceleration. So that is one thing that a force can do to an object. Let us imagine now that this object is actually moving in that direction. Didn't draw my arrow very well, so I'll just redraw that. Is moving, but it still has no forces acting on it. Most people think that for an object to be moving, it must have a force acting on it. Later on we will actually see that that is not correct. An object can be moving and have no forces acting on it. So we have an object moving in space in the direction given, and then a force is applied to the object in the direction that is opposite to the way it is moving. If you want to think of this another way, if you have a ball and you throw it towards a brick wall, so there's our brick wall, and we have a ball which is moving towards the brick wall. When the ball hits the brick wall, it will experience a force in a direction opposite to what it was moving. So what will happen in this case, remember we have moving in that direction, force in the opposite direction. This object will now slow down. And in common language, one of the words that is used for slowing down is deceleration. Although in science we don't actually call it that, but we'll talk about that sometime later. Again, a third thing. A ball, same object, moving through space, no forces acting on it. And after some period of time, it experiences a force not in the direction that it was travelling, and not opposite its direction, but at some other angle. So this ball would have been moving in a straight line, and now it experiences this force, and what that will actually do in this case is cause a change of direction. It may or may not cause the object to speed up or slow down, but it will definitely cause it to change its direction. One other thing that we haven't mentioned yet, we've talked about how forces can cause objects to speed up or slow down or change direction, but there is another thing that a force can do. imagine that we have a nice soft squishy ball. So here's a ball, and it's sitting on the ground, it's not moving. And then a force is applied from above downwards onto that ball. What it will actually do, and I'll draw this in red, is it might cause the ball to actually change its shape. It might compress that ball. And that is another thing that a force can do to an object.